Josh Security here, and this is on Wednesday, May the 27th, 2020. I'm here to look at some of the best things I've ever seen in a computer in the whole life. And I know how and when this is going on, all the stuff that we've been doing. Because I know, deep down in my mind, I know what this is all about. But what about that 30 for 30 on ESPN? I'm talking about Michael Jordan's last dance. It was perfect. It was great. It was wonderful. Last, it was a part 10 series. Part 10, it was a 10-part series. And I'm like, when the hell this is going to win? And it was great. And then, no, about the last time, early this month, last time, I mean, in April, and do April through mid-May, I think Michael Jordan's last dance was pretty cool. It's good. It's absolutely cool. It was absolutely, it was wonderful. It was great. It was absolutely unbelievable, man. I just said about this Michael Jordan stuff that it is, I did watch it on ESPN. It was pretty cool. And they showed all of it. It has everything. It has everything. It has Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant. And it was a cool idea. A very cool idea. And it was unbelievable. Some people like him, some people hate him. But Michael Jordan is a legend, for sure. And all they know is Michael Jordan do everything he want. He beat the Knicks, he beat the Suns, he beat the Jazz, he beat the Pacers. He won 6 ABA titles, along with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. He team up with who was a player who beat Dennis Rodman, who beat the Chicago Bulls in '99 and '90, and they lost in '91 against the Bulls. Had John, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen, that they were teammates. No, Dennis Rodman is not an enemy of Michael Jordan anymore. That was in the past, and they all wanted to win championships. But here's the thing: Ron Noah, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen team up with Dennis Rodman. They take on the war. They take on, and they have 72 wins for sure. 72, and they won the NBA championship since Michael Jordan's father's passed in 1996, since his father lives in '93. 3 years later, Michael Jordan came back and they won the NBA title to beat the Saints. Michael Jordan, we know that Michael Jordan got emotional. I mean, would have been the last time that it had happened so far. He was very emotional that his father passed away back in '93. And then they all wanted to win another NBA title, this time the Jazz at home. And then again, they beat the last time that Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, he and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, it was a close game in Game 6. A very epic one. And the Jazz think they're going to beat them in Game 7. Oh, man. They're going to go to Game 7. Down 86 to 83, Michael Jordan scored just like over about 40 seconds remaining. Michael Jordan came out and they scored. It was 86 to 85. And then Jordan and Robbie double teamed him, and then Jordan stripped the ball. And then Michael Jordan went up with the ball. Michael Jordan got the ball, went into the paint. Russell was there. And with the referee's baton, Michael Jordan came out there, opened the air, and then had his last final shot. That was that was a long time ago when his bat was torn. Now all you have to know is what has happening, what is up for the Bulls, what is up for Michael Jordan, what is up for Scottie Pippen, what is up for Dennis Rodman. And that was a long time ago. And we all know that Horace Grant says yes. And you know what? Something may happen, and this is what it's all about. So anyway, the last day was really good, and Phil Jackson was the coach. He was the coach of the back for the Bulls. 9 years. For 9 years. He coached for the Chicago Bulls for 9 years. It is absolutely, it is absolutely a good one, the part 10. Now, that being said, that Horace Grant. Now, Horace Grant was a former teammate with Michael Jordan. That was a long time ago. He helped him win 3 NBA titles. Horace Grant got three. Three for the Bulls and one for the Lakers in 01. I shouldn't even know what it's up to, but this is what Horace Grant says. Horace Grant says Michael Jordan lied in Last Dance, calling him snitch. I never see Horace Grant call him before. Now, the former Chicago Bulls forward Horace Grant has fired back at claims Michael Jordan made about him during the Last Dance documentary series on ESPN. In a rarely interview with Kip and Color on ESPN 1000 in Chicago on Tuesday, that was last Tuesday, Grant said, that was last week, Grant said it is a downright, outright, completely lie that he leaked much of the information in Sam Smith's famous The Jordan Rules book, as Jordan illegally doing the documentary. So they should remember about it. They should remember about it. Took a shot at Michael Jordan and says, lie, John, lie. If MJ had grew with me, let's say this like man. Grant said during the interview, let's talk about it, or we can say it in our way. But yet and still, he goes out and and puts this lie out that I was the sellers behind book. Sam and I have always been great friends. We're still great friends, but the second century of the locker room, I would never put everything personally out there. The mere fact that Sam Smith was an investigation reporter, that he had to have two sources, to write a book. I guess, why would MJ just point me out? It's only a groove, man. I tell you, was only a groove. And I think he provides that during this so-called documentary. If you will say something about him, he's going to cut you off. He's going to try to destroy your character. Wow. Grant, you helped Jordan and the Bulls win the three NBA championships from 1991 to 1993. Knowing that some of Jordan's closest relationships had the total over the years because of critical comments made about him. Charles Barkley, they have friends for over 20, 30 years, Grant said. He said something about Michael's management with the Charlotte Bobcats or the Charlotte Hornets. And haven't spoken since then. And my point is, he said that I was the snitch. But yet, and still, after 35 years, he brings up his rookie year going into one of his teammates' screens and seeing coke and weed and women. My point is, why the heck he want to bring that up? What's that got to do with everything? I mean, want to call somebody a snitch? That's a down snitch right there. Horace Grant needs to stop that. Horace Grant needs to stop. Because all I'm saying is, why? Why? I just don't understand this at all. Something has to be won. And I gotta tell you something. I know Horace Grant for a long time. He ought to be ashamed of Michael Jordan is next. And a lot. That's for sure. But now, all I'm saying is why. I really don't want to call it, I really don't want to go back. But here's the good thing. I know Michael Jordan a lot. He had a great career. He had a great career. And here's the thing, what blows my mind. And here it is. We're going to take it back in the early 90s in 1992. DT candidates Michael Jordan's dream team claims in the last dance. And then here it is. Michael Jordan's claimed that he had no part in his rival. Michael Jordan's claim that he had no part in his rival Isaiah Thomas being left off the USA Olympic Dream Team has been condemned by a new audio recording. In a recent ESPN documentary on Jordan's career, The Last Dance, six-time NBA champion denied he had lobbied for Thomas to be omitted from the Dream Team, went on the go to win, which went on to win the gold at the 1992 Olympics, where Isaiah wasn't there. Yep. But on his podcast, the Dream Team tapes, Will and Jack McCullough in an interview from 2011 was contradicting Jordan's claim. Selection comments member Ron Dorn called me. I said, Rob, I won't play if Isaiah Thomas is on the team, says in a 2011 interview. He assured me, he said, you know what? USA coach Chuck Daly doesn't want Isaiah, so Isaiah is not going to be a part of the team. And Michael Jordan doesn't want Isaiah to be on the team. So, Jordan and Thomas shared an interesting rivalry during their careers. The Last Dance Jordan admitted he still had hate for Thomas. Streaming from the internet when the Detroit Pistons refused to shake hands with the Bulls after Chicago's victory in the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals. However, in the Last Dance, Jordan denied he had asked Thomas to be left off the team. I respect Isaiah Thomas' talent. To me, the best point guard of all time is Magic Johnson. Right behind him is Isaiah Thomas. So Jordan, at the Last Dance, no matter how much I hate him, I respect his game. Now, it was instrumental that I was asking for Thomas to be let off the team, but I never threw his name in there. McCullough wrote a book, The Dream Team, on the 1992 Olympics, which he says Jordan's approach to Thomas was critical to the guard being a million. Please, in a little outlawed 1991, there was no one who was going to pick Isaiah Thomas over Michael Jordan. It's that simple. McCullough said on his podcast. While The Last Dance has been widely popular, it has also been met with some criticism. Many critics had known that Jordan's producing company was involved in making the show, and many of the Hall of Famers fought were glossed over as a result. Jordan's former Bulls teammate Scottie Pippen is said to be livid with the way he is portrayed in the documentary, while another teammate, Horace Grant, was even more blunt. When that so-called documentary is about one person, basically, he has the last word what's going to be put out there. It's not a documentary, Grant said. is a natural of what happens in the last quote unquote dance. That's not documentary because it's a whole bunch of things we cut out, in and out. So that's why I call it a so-called documentary. You name it, folks. You name it. I just don't give a I just don't give a damn about them. I just don't give a damn about them. That's for sure. But Michael Jordan is the best player. Why can it? So we all know that Michael Jordan don't want Isaiah Thomas on the USA team because Isaiah is 2 months for everybody. It's 2 months for everybody. He left out the team. And everybody in the Detroit fans are getting mad about Michael Jordan. They were getting mad about Michael Jordan. They're having feeling for the next time, for the next day. And some people don't even like it. So, so now, I really think it don't make me sick. And people glad that Michael Jordan don't want Isaiah Thomas off the Dream Team. But whoever knows about this right now, it's every player, every person, every rival knows how to turn. And that's Michael Jordan's rules. They don't tell Michael Jordan what to do. That's what's his game. That's his plan. That's his what he is. It is what Michael Jordan is. So what I find out was, let me say this again. Let me say this. For sure. Yes, I am for sure. So happy that Michael Jordan is somebody. And don't everything to do about that one. So all I say is when and how and that this is concerned. We should wait for this another time. Another time. And he is what Michael Jordan is. It is what Michael Jordan is the guest that we always know. The Jordan says no, he really don't want to get it. And people just don't get it. All people knows how you that thing, they do mine. Well, look at him now. Look at him now. Michael Jordan. He's doing his thing. He's a go. He's a go-to getter, and he's he's everywhere. He's everywhere on the court. He's a Chicago Bulls. He plays all the time since his debut back in 1984. The Bulls had his concern. Never thought he'd never make it, and then he had a big struggle here. I mean, he was pretty cool in the 1980s. Now in the 1990s, he won 6 championships. And look at him now. Michael Jordan, the man that hit was at the age of 57, had talked about it. He has talked about it all. Just like LeBron James. I never forget. I would never forget the 10th part of The Last Dance. He played his heart out. He did what he had to do to win games. I swear, I swear, for the bottom of my heart, he is a legend. Just like Magic Johnson. Just like Larry Bird. Just like Isaiah Thomas. Just like Seth Curry and everybody else. But man, what a day. What a game. What a career he has had. So now, what I'm saying is, what is going to happen? What will happen? Now, we all know Seth Curry takes over. We all know that LeBron James is here. And Kobe Bryant, it's all about Kobe Bryant, just like Kobe Bryant. Yeah, just like Kobe Bryant. But now that Kobe has gone, has passed away about 3 months ago, it's just about what Michael Jordan is. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even know it is a good one. It is a good part of the 30 for 30 on ESPN, and I love it. It's super cool. And with the way he did, and the way he did took Michael, and the way that Michael Jordan took Isaiah Thomas on the bus. He drew Isaiah Thomas on the bus, want team with him, want team up with him on Team USA. But I need to start talking about it. So now, let me start talking about it. That's what I know. So now, let's talk about the 1996 NBA Finals. Okay, let's talk about Gary Payton. And Michael, and he says that he was concerned when he lost the Chicago Bulls in Game 6. They're down 3 games to none, came back 3 games to Game 4 and Game 5, but then came up short in Game 6. Now here's what they said. Michael Jordan bought a plenty of former Bulls teammates, including Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Craig Hodge, with the last dance. Now, former Seattle Sonics guard Gary Payton was more forgiving. And in the documentary, Payton describes how his defense bothered Jordan during the 1996 NBA Finals. The clip played for Jordan's to react, Jordan laughing and replying destination. The glove, I had no problem with the glove. Now, that's what I know. And here's what everything is all about, and it's on pain. You know, I was hard. I was thinking about. Here's what Gary Payton just said. You know, I was hot. I was thinking about calling him at the time. I'd be like, "Yo, okay, now you want to hand sign and lie in front of everybody? All right, it's all good." I said, "But you know what? That's what I said now on mic, because I was said the same thing. I was said the same thing. You know me, B. I know. You know me, B. I'm not going to a man to nothing, man. I'm not going to man to somebody that me up or did nothing. I'll always tell you that any time in my career, nobody gives me nobody gives me problems but one person, and that's John Stockton to me. So that is just the way the game goes. I'm not mad at Mike because Mike didn't have too many games that nobody did him up. He always was dynamic. I'm glad he said that because wouldn't have said nothing else for him. I wouldn't have said nothing else for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. That's why we're talking about it. I love this answer. I love this answer. Payton and Jordan were great trash talkers. Jordan isn't required to provide an excellent assessment of Payton's defense. Jordan was just trying to help out Jordan, and there's a rival. Payne understands the game. He doesn't need to turn it into something bigger. He just dishes it right back with a lie about John Stockton being harder to guard than Jordan. Gary Payton was hot about Michael Jordan. that happened at the Glove going off original appearance on NBCSports.com. First, should you know, and how to know, and I really don't even know what Gary Payne is talking about. The former NBA player, never well top, but he did play for the Heat to win the NBA title. Just one NBA title, and that's for Miami Heat in 2006. And then we go to the last one. This is, we all know that could be Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan to the NBA Finals. That could be a fantasy investment. But look what's going on. Now, this is Game 6, the movie that they saw last week. We all know about NBA Finals 1998, Game 6, the movie. We know the ending, but Game 6, the movie did it at the Dream Live. You know what we know about this? Now, Game 6, the movie, isn't merely a rebroadcasting of the 1998 Bulls Jazz NBA game, NBA Finals Classic. It's a bit of a high ball as we see every minute of the game in real time. And we heard the calls of play-by-play man Bob Costas and Ellis Doug Collins and Isaiah Thomas as they were heard that day. Now we know how this movie ends, but it's still a classic. My guess is the ratings in Chicago for ESPN's Game 6, the movie, will be at least triple the views in, says Salt Lake City, given how the Game 6 is questionable. Game 6 is questionable was on June 13, 1998, when the Bulls knock off the Jazz on the road to clinch their sixth championship and dance one last time before the band woke up and the key contributors went their separate ways. For the last couple of months, the networks and the major cable sports channels had plugged some of the cable holes in their schedules with replays of everything from the Masters of the 1975, from the Masters to the 1975 World Series, to last year's NBA Finals to Auburn, and when Bo Jackson was a Blazer cassette possessor the SEC defense. It's great fun to reverse real-time broadcasts of these contests, but it allows Jonathan to realize and or remember what sports on TV looked like before the invention of widescreen and high definition in the late 1990s and early 2000s. The first major sporting event broadcast nationwide in HD was Super Bowl 24 on Super Bowl 34 on January 2, on January 3rd, 2000. The colors were bright, but the picture was almost muddy. The camera work was impressive, but limited by the knowledge of the time. The graphic looks like something those 7-year-old could whip up on a rap. Game 6, the movie, was debuted Wednesday on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app. It's a little different. It isn't merely a rebroadcast. It's a bill and a hardboard, as we see every minute of the game in real time. And we hear the calls of play-by-play man Bob Costas and analyst Doug Collins and Isaiah Thomas as they were heard that day. But we also heard never before seen game first captured by 5 NBA entertainment cameras, offering the look and tones and is more accurate to the frantic sports review of the episode of Friday Night Lights than a stand-up broadcast. The film puts behind the scenes, Doc Styles first, including a handful of Greek borders inside the Bulls' elders, as Phil Jackson rallies the troops, as well as some camera angles of the players so close they feels as if we were on the floor. At one point, Michael Jordan gets in Bill Wellington's face and gives him a death stare we can feel all the way on the sofa. Like any member of sports drama, Game Sets, the movie, features multiple compelling storylines. Scottie Pippen scores the ongoing basket on a slam dunk, but he aggresses a back injury on the play and spends most of the first half getting the treatment. We see photos of Pippen in the trainer's room, trying to stretch and recover. Instagram sideline reports says Pippen is out for the game, but he returns to the court after halftime and players start glancing teeth. As Cousins puts it, Jackson to Pippen, just before the third quarter. Can you start? Really? All right, then it's Robin. Hold up. Stay after them defensively, fellas. They're shooting 60%. Karl Malone's 8 for 11. John Stockton, okay. John Stockton, the Hall of Famer point guard for the Jazz, has back problems of his own and missed half of the quarter before he's unable to return. With Pippen sidelined in the first half, the Bulls start the second quarter with Jordan on a constant break of the bench and a corner of the Remington. Tony Kukoc, Steve Cole, John Bushler, and Scott Bowler on the floor. All due and owing respect to those guys. But you can't imagine how Chicago was holding its collective grief at the time. With Pippen struggling limit on both ends of the court, it was up to Jordan to shoulder an even bigger load that he already been carrying. Well, that's something. At one point in the fourth quarter, Constance marvels at his efforts to grab a loose ball with wherever gets is left in his tank. And Lil says, even Superman apparently gets tired. As the Bulls and Giants trade Noah leads like heavyweight fighters in a championship bout, we return to the Bulls timeout strategy session, with Jackson angling his square to deny the corner pass, then the corner into it. The only player who talks in those hobbles is Butcher. Kidding? It's Michael. Of course, it's Michael. One of the most entertaining moments in Game 6. Of course, when we get close up first of Robert and Malone knocking each other over and getting entangled with one another. As Cousins notes, Robin and Karl Malone regrettably are scheduled to wrestle next month in one of those bonus events. Rob, Rob Malone wants to lower himself to that and anyone's guess. In the end, even with all the cool upgrades and nothing Texas, Game 6, the movie is still all about Game 6. The game, even though we know the Bulls will prevail, it still seems implausible with Stockton hits a three-pointer with 41.9 seconds left to put the Jazz up by 86 to 83. It still seems unlikely when Utah has the ball and a 1 point lead, but Jordan makes the steal and Jordan hits the shot, and Stockton's 10 game winner just misses. It's all over. Jackson and Jordan embrace the court as the celebration begins. That was beautiful, Jackson said. What a finish. Exciting. So there you have it. You know how it goes. You know when it's all about. But don't even remember. Just remember that Game 6 was an epic and incredible and it's unbelievable when the Bulls win their sixth NBA championship. Thanks to Michael Jordan and the Bulls, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and the entire Bulls team, including Phil Jackson himself. That's all I have to say for now. And I hope you enjoyed this Just Cause story. And look, I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. With Locals Love for more. But until then, Chelsea Cook. Peace out. I'm out. Peace.